Hi, I'm Colin Clarke, a senior research fellow at the Soufan Center, which is an independent nonprofit organization offering research, analysis, and strategic dialogue on global security challenges and foreign policy issues. Today, I'm going to be briefing for Nordic Safe Cities on the concept of disinformation as an influence tool against democracies. The use of disinformation by foreign actors should be viewed as a revolutionary tool of warfare, which does not require direct acts of violence, but still has significant potential to disrupt society, business, and other aspects of everyday life. Today, more state and non-state actors are active in the space of deploying malign influence campaigns like disinformation. Technological advancements in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and other areas have allowed for the rapid and cheap distribution of these campaigns and more effective means of targeting potentially receptive audiences on sometimes unlimited scales. Compared to other more conventional tools of foreign policy and gray zone conflict, disinformation stands out as a relatively quick and easy option for all parties. According to the US Senate Intel report on the 2016 election interference issues, 1 month before the 2016 election, the Internet Research Agency in Russia was reportedly operating on a monthly budget of approximately 1.25 million. The Russian Federation has deployed disinformation as a tool of war to shape global and domestic opinion on the war in Ukraine. Russia has been working to sow false narratives about the conflict, justify its illegal war, deflect from atrocities committed by Russian forces against civilians, and redirect blame to the United States, NATO, and the European Union. In April, the Swedish government warned against increased propaganda activity among Russian channels due to Sweden and Finland's possible NATO applications. TSC has observed a number of anti-NATO narratives proliferating online over the past months, ranging from claims that NATO is an aggressive alliance responsible for war crimes in the Balkans and the Middle East, to conspiracy theories that NATO is run by the global cabal and that Swedish and Finnish NATO application will force Russia to place nuclear weapons in the Baltics. The latter narrative was an obvious case of so-called seeded narrative by Russia, intended to stoke fears that Sweden and Finland's NATO accession might provoke a nuclear conflict. According to our analysis, the narrative spiked on April 14th, when former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev warned that Russia may deploy nuclear weapons to the Baltic region if Sweden and Finland join NATO. Of note, Russia already has a significant amount of sophisticated weaponry, including nuclear capabilities, stationed in Kaliningrad, something that Medvedev failed to mention. This narrative was subsequently amplified by Russian state media outlets and quote-unquote thought leaders with connections to the Kremlin. The People's Republic of China has also been active in peddling propaganda and disinformation to denigrate the United States and NATO, as well as attempt to sow discord between the US and its European and Western allies more broadly. China has also piggybacked onto Russian disinformation campaigns. On March 8th, a spokesperson of the PRC Foreign Ministry claimed that the United States is storing viruses in biolabs in Ukraine, echoing the statement made by the Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova, baseless claims that the White House has adamantly refuted. These claims were quickly picked up by the known PRC-backed English language disinformation outlet like the Global Times. The false statement on biolabs is not only a recycling of China's disinformation playbook during the COVID-19 pandemic, but it's also particularly insidious as it blends a variety of conspiracy theories connected to the QAnon movement, which has fueled political violence in the past and stoked anti-government sentiment in Western countries. A known tactic used by Russia when deploying disinformation to destabilize democratic societies is to target socially divisive issues as a means of sowing discord and distrust among foreign citizens in their own governments. For example, this might include amplifying narratives about racial tensions, reproductive health and abortion, or election integrity. Within a Nordic context, socially divisive issues ripe for exploitation include religion, immigration, and integration, as illustrated by the 2022 Easter riots in Sweden. Another important strategy that has historically been deployed in disinformation efforts is that of ideological fluidity, namely that foreign actors have not pushed a specific ideological belief, but rather sought to amplify opposing voices within a country to pit citizens against citizens and not just their governments. Along those lines, the US Senate Intel report on 2016 election interference also noted that a tactic deployed by Russia was to connect with unwitting citizens and encourage them to organize in the real world. This tactic is particularly worrisome given the transnational ties between Russian far-right extremists and those in the Nordics. Dis and misinformation campaigns affecting Nordic states and cities are not limited to those perpetrated by state actors, but also shaped by non-state actors and other groups that are attempting to promote conspiracy theories like QAnon. While the political potency of the group as it was constituted in 2020 to 2021 remains unclear, the kinds of polarization and distrust they fomented continue to shape the views of many groups, including anti-government hate groups. Our earlier Soufan Center report includes more analysis on this phenomenon. Dis and misinformation campaigns are also shaping foreign policy dynamics that affect the Nordic region, most notably those in Ukraine, but also those further afield in places like Africa, where the operations of entities like the Wagner Group continue to destabilize security in regions where Nordic troops and interests are present. Nordic states and communities should consider the following recommendations identified by our team in order to protect their societies and democracies against disinformation. First, consider pre-bunking narratives assessed as potentially impactful and/or believable in the population or a segment of the population before they become viral. Second, support the training and capacity development of frontline organizations working to counter hate speech, promote media literacy, and promote social inclusion. Third, invest more heavily in digital and media literacy programs and widely publish stories of past dis and misinformation incidents to increase public awareness of the phenomenon. Fourth, continue to flag spreaders of disinformation on online platforms and traditional media. Fifth, and finally, make public confirmed incidents perpetrated by regional and foreign actors and develop greater public awareness campaigns. Thank you very much. Take care.